Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to talk about day 11, 12, and 13 of the Declutter Challenge. But first I wanted to show you kind of a little bit of what I've been doing. This is some finished knitting that I have blocked. When you're done knitting a project, you always want to launder it very carefully and gently and block it. And I often will use these, they're kind of a soft foam kind of interlocking pads that you can purchase for knitting, to block knitting. And this is a shawl. I can't remember. I think this one's called, I don't remember what it's called, but I'll put it in the description box if you're a knitter and you want to know the pattern. The yarn is camel and silk. Turned out really pretty. This is a pair of fingerless gloves, which I needed to use up some scraps. I've got an awful lot of scraps of yarn, and I had enough there to go ahead and make a pair of fingerless gloves, and I still have enough left to make a teddy bear sweater. And this beautiful shawl, which is more kind of like a scarflet. You can see this is my hand, so it's not full-size shawl. But it has a gorgeous I-cord edging on it and lace around the outside edge. And this yarn is merino and nylon, and I do know that it came from Blackbird Sycamore Yarn. I believe the color is scroll. I'd have to look, but I'll put it all in the description box for you. So, okay, let's go on with day 11, and we'll look at my cutting mats and irons and rulers. Okay, we're looking at my cutting mats. These are all but one of the cutting mats that I own. I have one cutting mat that's quite large and very banged up. I have had it for many years, and I use it mainly for cutting fleece and batting because the fibers get down in the cracks that the rotary cutter leaves, and I don't like cleaning those out very good, so I use a special mat. And I just waited until I had one that was pretty well banged up and used and old, and I store it behind a cabinet, and I pull it out and use it when I'm cutting fleece. This is a 20 by 11, possibly, mat. I do use it quite a bit over on the top of my Husky toolbox, just above the drawer that has all my rulers in it. I just use just this little one over there because I moved my big one, this big one, which is 36 by 24. Someone asked me in my last video how big this mat was. It's 36 by 24. And I moved it over here by my sewing machine. And here's my module sticking out. But I really like it over here. I did have it on top of my Husky toolbox, and I liked it there too, but I like it a lot better here. And I'll show you real quick. My Jelly Roll Race quilt is half quilted, and here's what the back looks like. And I put my quilt label on right on the backing I didn't want to do it on a separate piece of fabric. I just hurried up and put it on just on the backing. Okay, so we've looked at this one. This is a rotating mat, which I like, and I do use it quite a bit, especially for paper piecing. But I wish it was round. I know you can get very, very large round ones, and the reason is that every time I move it, this sticks out and bumps me in the leg. And so it's not difficult to use, and I don't mind that it's square. But when this one wears out and I need to get a new one that is this size, which is 14 by 14, I'm going to get a round one. And this one is it is round, but it's small, and I hold it on my lap in the evenings. I use it for a little table. I use it for gluing my English paper piecing. It's nice just to have something solid on your lap that you can use as a little table on your lap for your handwork projects. I use it a lot with paper bead making also. And then I have these two. This one came free in something. I don't remember what I bought. I bought something and I got this free little mat, and I've used it now and then. It would be a fun mat to pack up and take with you if you wanted to go to a retreat or something like that and you didn't have a lot of room. And this really small mat, it's this way, get it right side up. I love it. I use this in bag making all the time. This is, in fact, I think the only things I've ever used it for is bag making. It's great for using my little Fisker's knife and cutting a little slit for a badge on a bag, or maybe just trimming a little place on a handle. Using my hole punch. I use my hole punch on here a lot for making holes for rivets. So I like it a lot. And you can see it's only about as big as my hand. So, and now let's move on to rulers. I have, remember when I put it in one of my recent videos that I keep the rulers that I use the most here, and a couple of square rulers, my rotary cutter and my knife, and some scissors. I've got some scissors in here. And I'll take you over now and show you the drawer that is full of rulers that I do use, but some a lot less than others. Alrighty, here we are looking at my irons and my ironing station. I'm going to insert a little clip here of how I made this ironing board. It is on the top of one of my Husky toolboxes. So here we are at my ironing station, which is about maybe 5 steps from my sewing machine. I used to have a much bigger ironing place where I had 2 Husky tables toolboxes, back to back, and had a great big space to iron on. And I found that I didn't use all that space ever. My arms are only so long, and I don't know why I didn't think of that when I was sort of orchestrating that ironing place. So when we redid the floor in my sewing room, I just said, let's just put this up against the wall. I will use it just fine, and I don't have any trouble with it at all. It's 48 inches long, and there's my wool mat, so I can use it, and I've got all my sprays and everything there close by, and primarily I use 2 different irons, but I made my ironing board cover. I made this, and there's a video on how to make these. It's just a piece of MDF lumber. I think it's cut 28 by 46 or something like that. And I just have it covered with a piece of canvas. And I changed this out. Right now it's got little cats on it. But sometimes it will have Tula pink fabric, and sometimes it might have, you know, dogs on it. I've had a pug ironing table cover, and I throw these in the washer. They're just tucked under. They're not stapled on or anything, and they stay there just fine. And if they get enough best press or starch or something on them, and they start feeling a little strange, I just throw them in the washer, and then I press them and put them back on. And this is it just has 1 layer of batting on here, so it's very flat and pretty hard. So I really like it best for pressing quilt blocks and quilt fabric, and it works pretty good for bag making too. And I really love it. And this is just a canvas, and it's just tucked in. I don't have it stapled on or anything. You can see there's the selvage edge, and when it's dirty I take it off and wash it. Sometimes I put a different one on if I want to look at something different for a while. I do. So irons, I have a Panasonic, which I love. It is cordless, and I often use it when I'm pressing like backings, large pieces, where I don't want the cord getting in the way, and I've got a lot of fabric to work with. And there's kind of a little box that holds all my pressing stuff, and 505 spray and that kind of thing. And this is my heat press, which I use in bag making all the time, and often I'll use it in quilting too. This is an HT Vrant, and I've had it a couple of years now, and I've never had one single problem with it, and I like it. I really like it a lot. It's pretty safe, and whoop, I dropped my I rolled a roll of heat transfer vinyl off onto the floor. Made a big noise. That'll be nice on the video. And so this is the iron I use the most. This is a Tefal iron, and it has a Teflon bottom on it, and it's just fabulous. This iron, I've probably had this iron 10 or 12 years, and I love it. Really love it. It has like a great big long cord, might be 8 feet. And of course, pressing tools, clapper, and this you press, like if you're quilting and you want to press your 1/4 inch seams open, this is a great little tool, which I got from Primitive Gatherings, Lisa Bonjean and her company. And you just put your quilt block on this curve and open the seam and press the seam open, and then you don't bother any of the other seams and, press them backwards and forwards. We've all done that. And this is my little clover iron, which I use in paper piecing, and I've got a couple of different attachments that go with it. Paper piecing and English paper piecing. And this is a small Rowenta, which is handy to take if I'm traveling, which I never do, but I do travel around the house on the inside here, and sometimes I want to set up a little ironing station by my easy chair in the evenings and press fat quarters or just quilt blocks. And I'll put a little TV tray ironing board up and sit there and use a small iron. And I do like this one great. It has plenty of steam, works fine. And then I have this little guy, which I know we've all seen these, and it seems like there's been a problem with them burning up or something. Let me see if I can get it out of here. But mine never has. And I do use it too. I will often put a little wool mat right next to my sewing machine, and I'll use this little iron then to press as I sew. So there are my irons and my ironing station. So let's talk about day 12. Stations. Day 12. So around my sewing machine, I don't keep very much. Scissors and some threads and that. And then of course I've got my little cabinet down there that I keep things close by, my bobbins, sewing machine needles, everything I would need to have right at hand in my little cabinet there. And I do have my cutting station here, which we've talked about many times. And I have kind of a design station on one of my other Husky toolboxes. And my ironing station, which is where we just were. This is a little station that I use for editing my videos and shopping online and just doing all kinds of things. Here, I pay my bills here and keep a journal. I've always kept a journal of what I do each month, which is kind of a neat thing. You can sort of look back and see. And then my printer, my printer is here right behind me, and I do copy off an awful lot of recipes, seems like. But I love this printer. It's one of those that uses the tank thing and not cartridges. Just lasts forever. So there's kind of my, I guess what you would call my office, and this is like right behind my back from my computer. And back again to, this is my kitchen table. I would call it a station. I use it quite a bit to layer and pin quilts, sandwich them, and of course you've seen many times that I do block knitting here. It's a really big table. And then one last place that I would say is one of my favorite stations is my easy chair in the evenings. I never let my hands go idle. It just doesn't seem like I can do that. So I'm always knitting or doing English paper piecing or making paper beads, doing something with my hands. And so in the evenings, I have my easy chair station, and I can do things while I watch TV. Okay, on to day 13, notions. So you have seen this drawer before, and all the other drawers primarily that I keep notions in. I would say notions are just things that you have to be creative, to do your craft, whatever it is. And I do have drawers that I keep templates in, acrylic templates. I keep them separate and by themselves. So this is the second drawer down, and I keep feet, sewing machine feet, in here. These are serger feet that go to a serger I don't have anymore, so one of my declutter challenges is to go through my serger feet I did get a new serger cover stitch machine last year, and I guess I will have to see if there are any of these feet that might be useful, but I doubt it. But I also keep my bobbin cases in here, and I just keep things in here that are very handy. My machine's right here, so I guess you would say sewing machine feet are notions. I don't know. These are earbuds. If I want to listen to a podcast while my husband watches Yellowstone or Big Sky or some Western, I can listen to a podcast and sit over here and sew, and I can still see him and watch over him. So those are days 11, 12, and 13. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and if you think about it, click the little like button, and you can even share this video if you have a notion to, and all of those things really help when someone is trying to support their business by making YouTube videos. It may seem like an easy job, but it has its ups and downs. And it's always great to know when you're working at something like this that the people who view your videos are supportive and really can learn something or pick up a tip. Maybe just make their sewing life a little easier. So I'm very glad you spent some time with me today. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you again next time.